Hey everyone, welcome back. In our last video, we learned how to manually set up our G54 X and Y work offsets with an edge finder. However, before we can actually machine or mill a part, we need to set up our tool length offsets, which will give us our G54Z offset values. So in this video, we're going to learn how to manually set up our tool length offsets using a Z-axis zero setting touch-off gauge, just like the one seen here. This touch-off gauge is exactly 2 inches in height and has a spring-loaded surface so you don't damage your tools. It is important to note that you will need to determine the tool length offsets for every tool referenced in your G-code programming operation. So if your programming operation requires 3 tools, you will need to determine the tool length offsets for those 3 tools. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing you want to do now is come into your offset page, go ahead and scroll up and over to your work tab, and then down to G54 and over to Z. Make sure your Z-axis here says 0. If not, go ahead and type in 0, okay, and then select F1. All right. Now let's go ahead and open our doors. And place our tool touch-off gauge on our stock material or part. Now let's go ahead and touch up our first tool. With your first tool in the spindle and your doors open, go ahead now and handle jog down to the surface of our gauge. Go ahead and select handle jog, 0.01, Z, and turn your handle jog wheel counterclockwise until your tool sits just above the spring-loaded surface. Once your tool makes contact with the spring-loaded surface, very slowly turn your handle jog wheel, 1 click at a time. As it approaches 0, change your handle jog increment now to 0.001 or 1/10, and once again turn your handle jog wheel counterclockwise until the needle is exactly at 0. Once it's exactly at 0, go ahead now and select Tool Offset Measure. Our tool is now exactly 2 inches from the surface of our part or stock material. We need to compensate for this distance in the control panel. To do this, type in -2.0 and select Enter. Go ahead and accept the setting and select Y. Now close the doors. Type in Z in your home G28 button. Switch to the next tool used in the operation. Select MDI, T5, and ATC forward. Now let's repeat this process we used for our first tool. Go ahead and open the doors. Select handle jog, 0.01, Z, and let's handle jog down to the surface of our touch-off gauge. Once your tool makes contact with the spring-loaded surface, turn your handle jog wheel 1 click at a time as the needle approaches 0. Change your handle jog increment to 0.001 or 1/10 and continue turning your handle jog wheel slowly until the needle is exactly at 0. Once the needle is exactly at 0, go ahead and select Tool Offset Measure. Our tool is now exactly 2 inches from the surface of our part or stock material. We now need to compensate for this distance in the control panel. To do this, type in -2.0, select Enter. Go ahead and accept the setting and select Y. Go ahead now and close the doors. Type in Z in your home G28 button. Now go ahead and open the doors. Since we've done all the tools required in this particular milling operation, go ahead now and remove your touch-off gauge. And once again, close the doors. Just to make sure we did everything correctly, we now want to verify our tool lengths by entering some G-code in the machine. Go ahead now and select MDI, manual data input. Type in G54, G00, and G90, and then select X0 and Y0, and select enter. Okay, now we want to go ahead and turn on our tool length compensation. So select G43. And every tool length compensation needs a tool number to reference. So I'm going to select my tool number H05. And then I'm going to select Z 2.0 and I'm going to select enter. Now what this will do is it'll tell our tool to go 2 inches above our stock material. And finally, I'm just going to type in a M30, and this will basically end our program and reset it. Okay, go ahead and select enter. When you're done, hit reset. Okay, what you want to do now is make sure you select single block, and we're going to make sure we're on a 5% rapid, so we run our program very slowly. Okay, when you're ready, have both thumbs on your cycle start and feed hold, and what we're going to do is we're going to run each line of code one line at a time by hitting cycle start. So let's go ahead and do that. So what it's going to do now, it's going to move to our X0 and Y0 origin that we set up earlier with our edge finder. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and hit cycle start again, and if we did everything correctly, our tool should move 2 inches above our stock or part. Let's go ahead and hit cycle start again. Have your thumb on that feed hold button. Looks good. Let's go ahead and open our doors. Go ahead now and grab a ruler or some calipers, okay? And what you want to do now is grab your ruler, place it on the top of your stock material and behind the tool, and verify that it is in fact 2 inches above your part or stock material. Once you've verified that you've done everything correctly, go ahead now, close the doors. Now to reset the program for your next tool, go ahead and select cycle start one more time. Switch back to 100% rapid. Type in Z in your home G28. Now let's go ahead and repeat the same process with our first tool. Go ahead and select T1 ATC forward. And this is tool 1, so I'm going to come on down here. I'm going to delete my tool number 5 here. I'm going to toggle back over, and I'm going to type in my new tool number, H01, select enter. Okay, I'm going to hit reset to start the program over again. And if I did everything correctly, my tool should stop 2 inches above my stock material or part. Okay, once again, make sure you're in 5% rapid. Make sure you're in single block. Have your thumbs on the cycle start and feed hold button. Go ahead and cycle start it. Cycle start it again. And if we did everything correctly, our tool should stop 2 inches above our stock material or part. Have your thumb on that feed hold button just in case. Okay, go ahead and open your doors. Once again, grab a ruler, some calipers, and verify that it is in fact 2 inches above your part. Looks good. Now just go ahead and close your doors. Hit cycle start again To reset your program, hit cycle start again, and go ahead and hit 100% rapid in Z Home G28. Once you've successfully set up your X and Y work offsets with an edge finder and touched off your tools to the correct heights, you're now ready to load your G-code in the control panel and start machining. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.